Hello, welcome to the Reasonably Effective podcast brought to you by myself, Uncommon Fossil, and 10 Types.
Yep, that's right. Today we're here and we're going to be talking about a few different things. But first, Uncommon Fossil, you want to talk about live because there were a few things that happened this week.
Yeah, there were two updates to live this week, which is two more than most weeks, right? The one was an update that we knew was coming, and they posted the announcement about what it was going to be, which was pretty minor. But then they threw in a major addition of the battle log as well, which was a surprise. I think it caught everyone by surprise there, and I think this battle log, which has been badly needed, and I'm glad we have that because that was one of the biggest things missing for PTCGO. But not only is it, I think, as good
PTG
as that,
Live, right? L,
PT,
you said?
yeah, well, I think it, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, it was in PTCGO, obviously the battle log, and it's one of the things they needed to add to live to get back to that level. And I think this is and not only is it as good as PTCGO, I think it's actually better than that. I think this is probably the first time live has anything that's better than PTCGO.
Outside of, in my opinion, the economy, and arguably the
Yeah,
visuals are better. But this is the first thing that PTCGO's done decently that Live's done better, which
yeah.
is good. It's kind of weird, as you said, they kind of just like tossed it in there. It seemed like they didn't think it was a very big deal, which in some sense is like good because that means that oh, they got even better stuff planned.
Mhm.
But in some sense, it's really bad because it might mean that they don't know what they're doing.
Well, I think they had their year-end letter last December of 2023, where they said the battle log was coming. So I think they knew it was a big deal. I think they didn't announce it because they weren't sure if it was going to be ready, or they weren't sure if there are going to be problems when they put it in. That's my guess. I think they weren't certain about it. That's why they didn't announce it.
I guess, but I mean, it feels like they celebrate things that aren't good. Like I don't know. It's kind of weird. It just, I mean, it's not bad. The battle log's pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, I don't have an image of it right now, but
Mhm.
it's very visual. You can like actually see stuff, like the pictures of the cards,
Right.
as opposed to just the names of the cards. Well, not in the text, obviously. So there are some issues, but for the most part, it's pretty good. And the Pokemon TCG Simulator has a battle log, and honestly, um, I think Lives is
Hmm.
better. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of different, but it's good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it gives us more information than it had in PTCGO. Just more information, and you can click on the card. Besides just being text, it's got some visuals of the cards, which makes it faster to find to get the information as long as you know what the visuals are. And if you click on the card, it expands the card. So if you don't have to read the cards as they're flying by on the screen. When first off, when your opponent recovered something like with Rod before, the game probably wouldn't show you at all what it was. Now it's there, and not only it has a little icon of the card, so you can always check it, and you can click the card, expand it to see what it is too, if you don't remember what exactly that card did, which
Yeah,
is all good.
and one thing that also is really nice is that if you hear about that, you might think that it sounds like clunky, like big, like that it'll be
Hmm.
really long to scroll between the sections because you have all these cards in the way. But now you can
Right.
like collapse the cards, so you can hide the card, and then you can look at one specific action, click it,
Yeah.
expand it, and see what's happening. As I said, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's honestly very good, especially for a first attempt.
Right, and they called it phase one, I believe, and I couldn't find the letter wherever it was. Oh, I guess it's in the in-game log in the game. I think is where it has some information on it. Yeah, like if when you take a mulligan, your opponent takes a mulligan. It says they took a mulligan, and then it's got an arrow. If you click the arrow and expand it, then it shows all the cards in the mulligan. But it collapses it so it doesn't take up the space all the time. But you can check it out when you want to. So they did a nice job with it so far.
Yeah, speaking of the mulligans, it doesn't tell you your hand you draw after the mulligan, which is a minor issue. That should definitely be shown. I think they probably just forgot. Um, I think a log should be able to, because the main issue, like the reason for a
Hmm.
log is that you can now use it to track down glitches, which honestly I think they should encourage people to post their logs because it's extremely helpful.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think a log should be able to, if you follow it, you should be able to follow exactly what happened in the game, and the log isn't
Yes.
quite there. It's very, in some sense, it's very hard to do to, for example, differentiate between different bench Pokemon that are like the same Pokemon, which can matter.
Hmm.
Obviously, in physical play, you'll see it. Even in live, you'll see what's happening. But for the most part, it's really good.
Right. I mean, like if you when you attach an energy to a particular Pokemon, you may have different ones with different damage levels on them, for instance, and they probably aren't going to tell you which one it is of that exact which Pokemon it was, right? That you attach to and stuff. Um, but it's much closer to a complete game log than PTCGO had, which is good. And besides, yeah, I think Pokemon should start to say in the forums and stuff, whenever you report an issue, include the battle log, right? Because that's one of the things that it's there for. And the other thing is to get better. What with the game for all of us? One, I was very pleased to see I made a video on Control Snorlax Stall recently, which you might not like that, but it is what it is. But one person said, "Hey, I've been having a hard time against Snorlax Stall, and I took a look at the battle log in some games to see what I was doing to improve that matchup." So that's another thing it's there for, and hopefully people do that too.
Yeah, although right now I'm not sure if I'd say it's quite good enough. One person said that, and I agree with this, or it might have been multiple people. So they said a replay feature would be nice, and in some senses very logical. You just stick
Yeah.
the login, and then you can watch the game played back, which I think wouldn't be. I mean, it's not super easy to implement, but it's probably easier than the log itself, or about the same difficulty. So that would be really nice, and that would be very useful.
Yeah, you need to start. You need obviously. You might need a lot more information to be able to actually replay the game, though.
I
From
think
it,
it's
I'm not.
just a little more. Um,
So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure with the phase two what they're going to do for it. Are they looking for something like that? Are they looking for something like Magic the Gathering Arena, where you can have other third-party programs that scrape the information from the games from the logs and then utilize that to utilize that, which gets a lot of information that way. I'm not sure. I think they have something bigger envisioned. I don't know what it is
Yeah,
though.
the one thing I'm concerned about is in the letter. So last letter, like not the letter they just put, which talked about the log and said that they'd
Hmm.
want to implement the log in the future, but the
Yeah,
letter before that they promised another letter, and that they just barely. And at the end of last year, they promised that they give us a letter last year, and they did, but like barely.
yeah.
And so I'm kind of nervous that they're just because all they promised essentially was
What
that
they've
they'd roll
done.
out the bat, yeah, was what they've done. So they might
Correct.
be just checking things off and then being like, okay, we don't need to worry about live for another. Well, I guess they didn't promise anything, so they didn't need to worry about it at all again. But like, oh, we don't need to worry about it for another like 4 months, which is why I'm a little nervous to get
Yeah,
my hopes up.
yeah, look, I don't know. I mean, we did an episode a couple weeks ago about live, and you were more pessimistic than I was. I think you weren't even certain that they'd get to this level of battle log this year, though. So,
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm honestly I'm surprised. I honestly when I saw the battle log, I was actually happy, and this I think was the first time ever that I've been like optimistic about live.
right, yeah, a pleasant surprise. I don't know if we've had that before with live. We do have the big test of rotation coming up in the not too distant future, so hopefully that goes okay. We will see about that.
Yeah.
The other issue, which thing this week, there was a second an update which they didn't give a lot of attention to. I saw in in the forums. I think it was like a heading in the forum. There wasn't even an official post on it, but there was an infinite like credit glitch or crystal glitch or something. I'm not sure what it was exactly. Something with the battle pass, and they fixed that within 24 to 48 hours, which is obvious, which is kind of how things should be in general, I will say. But this is the first time they've ever, I think, fixed anything close to that speed.
Yeah, I don't know if this is good. Like in some sense it's good that they're patching glitches. And also
Hmm.
you probably shouldn't be abusing glitches. I know some
Right.
people do, but one Pokemon could like punish you for it. But more likely, I mean, I don't know. I think it's okay to abuse glitches that don't like hurt like other players. Anyway, so but
I mean,
be
there's
aware
other
of that.
games out there that the companies will punish you. So I don't know if Pokemon will take that attitude or not.
Yeah, I feel like it's not. I don't really like it when companies do that because at the end of the day, it's something that's in their game. It's not like, even if it's not intended, it's still in the game. So, you're not necessarily like breaking their rules. I actually don't know if that's true. I don't know what like the quote rules of,
Hmm.
like the things that you sign off on when you create the game, like the terms and conditions. But anyway, so they
Right.
patched that, but it's like I feel like they patched it because it was something that, in a sense, arguably hurt them. And not
Yeah.
actually, because they're not making actual money off of it, but it feels kind of like that's why they did it, which
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, if we see that, well, I mean, there are issues with the battle log, and they haven't fixed that yet, and there are lots of issues. So this is, I don't know. I guess it's good that they fixed it.
Well, like it shows us they can fix something if they want
Yes,
to,
that's
right?
true.
Which is good. Now, why? The motivation question. Why was this such a big issue? There was an issue for a while before this that also had something with Battle Pass rewards, right? That was broken, and that stayed broken for I think a month or two. I
Yeah.
forget what it was. So
And do
for
you know
some
how
reason,
this glitch worked? I didn't like. I didn't. I don't know. I've heard. All I knew was that it existed, but I have no idea how it works. Was it
no,
like
there
easy,
is.
or
I
was it?
think it was. The game broke itself. There was a video by one of the content creators documenting it, which I wouldn't, even if I knew what it was, I certainly wouldn't go uploading stuff like that. But yeah, I forget what you had to do. Somehow it would. I don't remember what it was, but something when you went up to the next level on the battle pass, if you did things a certain sequence, it just kept giving you the rewards. I think.
Okay, I remember. I think that's what the previous one was like as well. That one, but that one, like your game would crash, and that happened to me a few times by accident. Like your game would just
Right.
crash, and then all of a sudden you like get extra stuff. But anyway, I think that's enough of live for today. We are talking about before we
Yes.
get into the main topic, which is in the title and thumbnail. We're going to talk about some new cards, some very good cards, and also I don't know. We'll mention some other cards. So first of all, we have so Uncommon Fossil. Have you looked at these cards?
I know the one card, the A spec, and that's
Okay.
that's the only card I know of.
So the first card we need to look at here is Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, which is a basic. I thought it was a stage 2 at first, and I thought this was a little underwhelming for a stage 2, and then I saw this was a basic, and it's very good.
Okay.
So it has
260
260
HP, which is
HP.
tremendous. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
tremendous.
yeah, and it's the most we've seen on a basic EX, I think.
Okay.
That or like lowercase EX, and then it has an ability Elder's Technique. This Pokemon's Blood Moon attack. The attack that it has costs one colorless less for each prize card your opponent has already taken, and for 5 colorless, it does 240 and can attack next turn. So this is Radiant Charizard. Like this is just Radiant Charizard, um, except it has more HP. It's colorless,
Right.
and it does a little bit less damage. But I think this card's kind of broken. I mean, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I'd see broken's a tricky word, so I don't think it breaks the game. I don't think it's gonna
What do you
like
mean?
all of a
It has
sudden.
it's like so you like Blissey V, but that does like 30 for one. You like it because it's
Yeah,
tanky, but this does like
but you
240
need
for
five
one.
enter, but you have to, yeah, and you can attack for free. You just have to let your opponent take all five prizes, right? But
But
again,
after they've taken 3, you just stick on one double turbo. Or if they've taken
right,
2,
and
you
then you
stick
do
a double turbo and
220.
one more energy. That's like not that hard. Or you can
You
attach
can
a
do.
double turbo, attach another double turbo, and assuming they've taken a knockout, you're hitting. I don't know. I'd skip
Look,
it.
I don't think you're building a Blood Moon Ursaluna EX deck unto itself. I think it's a card that goes in other decks, right? It's a colorless attacker, so unlike Radiant Charizard, you need at least one fire energy. Here, any type of energy works. So it goes in. So a lot of decks are going to play one copy of this card. That's what I see happening. You're going to put one copy of this into a lot of decks, which is fine. So we just got to be aware of it. But I don't think it like turns the world upside down.
I think it's like Radiant Charizard, which is pretty good, but I think it's
Yeah.
noticeably better. The only issue is that it gives up 2 prizes, but that's not like I mean it's very tanky as well. I think it's very
Hmm.
good.
No, it's very good. I just don't think it's broken. I mean, mostly you're going to want a copy of this, and you're particularly going to want to put it in play when your opponent's down to one prize card less, because then the two prize cards isn't an issue at all. The extra tankiness is really good. So
Yeah, yeah.
260, and you can get an extra 50 on it. So now you can be at 310, and attack for free and do 240. That's just awesome. I mean, so it's a very good card. I think it's going to go in a lot of decks. I think I think it's just a tech that goes in decks, and I don't know that it's going to shake things up too much. It may. Now the downside is you might not want to take prizes early in the game, and that won't be positive. Everyone wants to just sit back.
Yeah. One thing about this, it's really tanky as a basic, so you can play on control
Yeah,
as well.
that's what I was just
Um,
thinking because Snorlax stall is going to get better post rotation, I think, and then you put this in the deck. And also, I'm looking forward to the new mill deck as well, right? So I can splash this in there too, and they get going. I'm milling them, and if that's not the strategy to mill, boom, I just start running through them.
yeah. Um, Next up, we have Screamtail EX. This is not very good. It can support a lock, but once. Next
What do you
up,
mean once?
Only on one of the second turn going. No, yeah, second turn. Oh no,
Oh,
first turn going second. Yeah, there we go. Um, so yeah,
and this. Okay, it's a psychic Pokemon, and the second attack isn't all that good. So,
yeah.
right.
But we need to have a talk about Iron Thorns EX. I've heard a few people say this card's really good,
Hmm.
but I think they're YouTubers and they're just like hyping things up because it's bad, or not bad, but its ability and this, so it's a future Pokemon, 230 HP, decent stats.
Hmm.
Attack 140, Lightning, colorless, and then you move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Not awful by any means, pretty okay. But then
Yeah.
the ability here, initialize, well, it's in the active. It's Path. Its ability is Path. It turns off other rule box Pokemon abilities, including your own, except for future Pokemon, because it's future
So turning off items for rule box. Yeah, I mean, look, we're
abilities.
losing past abilities. Sorry, so we're losing past of the peak. So this kind, and so we're going to have a period without ability lock on the EXs, and then we're going to get that back with this. So I think, yeah, I mean, I like ability lock as a mechanic in the game. Um, and obviously, I think these ancient and future boxes are an appealing thing. So, I think so. This could be a good card for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's like I don't think you're gonna put it in decks where you can't attack with it though.
So you're gonna have lightning energy, and you're either not gonna have abilities or you're gonna be in a future
Well, I
box,
mean, you
right?
can run like Babero.
Right. You can run non-rule box abilities, um, but you're not gonna want to play your Charizard EX, your Arceus, your Radiant Greninja with this probably.
Yeah, I think this is like fine. Um, some people are saying it's really good, man. I don't think it's really good. Some
No,
people are saying it's like as good as Path, and I think that's like, I mean, it's not. It's not really like Path because it's just it's specific, not bad. It's decent.
right, and it's a Pokemon to put in play, which you don't necessarily right. The other's a path to the stadium, so
Yeah, I
which
mean, if this worked from the bench, I mean, it would be about as good as Path, but it doesn't.
that's true. It has to be active, so well, yes, and that's questionable. So you need to be able to attack with it. So you're going to need a deck that can attack with this, but it's not a great attack on itself. So you need other attacking options too, and depending on the situation, you swing with this one, right?
Yeah, I think the good thing about it is its energy attack cost is very similar, uh, directly better in fact than Iron Hands' attack cost, which is obviously teched into other things. So anything you're playing
Yeah,
Iron Hands in, or Iron Hands EX, I should say, you can put this card in as well.
yeah. I mean, this will see play in decks, not as much as the Blood Moon Ursaluna EX though.
Yep. Next up, there's an Applin and a Diplin. If you play GLC, yeah, you can use this Applin. The Diplin is bad. So Diplin evolves, but not in this set. So, yep. Um,
Okay.
Leon is bad. Heron it's like Pokemon communication but doubled, but it's a supporter, which isn't good, I think, right?
Well,
Um,
okay. So, well, Pokemon Communication was a good card
well, it
though.
was good, but it was also an item. It was like,
No, I get it. You probably don't want this in decks. There may be something that wants this, but I'm not certain. There may be some odd deck that likes it, but generally,
yeah.
no, it's not that
Mhm.
good.
Then we have a reprint of Enhanced Hammer. That
Wow.
is surprising. That surprised me. I think this card's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really good. There's not a ton of special energy being played. There's double turbo,
Right.
and that's about it. Because like all the battle styles ones are rotating.
Yeah. I mean, I probably before Enhanced Hammer rotates, there will be more special energy in the game. I would assume over the next
I mean,
couple of years.
yeah, we have like 3 years, so it should be.
Right. So, obviously, getting rid of a DTE is good also. And this certainly gets, Snorlax gets better. So that's what we all want to see happen,
Yep.
right?
I mean, it's not that much of a buff to Starlax. I don't know if it probably wouldn't. It might play this, but it might not.
Yeah, it's not the hugest thing. It's certainly a blow to Arceus because, Arceus, you attach your DTE turn one. If they knock that off on your opponent's turn, then you also you can't do your Arceus attack like you wanted, and that is a big blow there.
Yeah, a decent amount of time you just attach a basic energy as well, or you
Right.
attack like you're going second, you attack with the Arceus V or whatever. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little annoying for that deck. Um, I don't think there's too much to say about that though. And then we
No.
have community center and caretaker. They're kind of bad. Like they're bad, and then they like work together to be like bad. Um, we don't really need to talk about them too much right now. Lucky helmet.
Okay.
That card also isn't very good. Um, and then we have unfair stamp. So you wanna read
Well, no,
this one?
lucky helmet though. If you're active and you're damaged, you draw 2 cards. So
It's like it's like it's like really bad against mill. Actually, no, you're probably not getting hit, but if you are, it's really bad against mill.
yeah, and maybe control likes it too, right? You
Well,
you
no, it's
draw,
bad.
right?
No, it's bad if you're playing this against mill, then you're gonna deck out faster. That's what I'm saying.
Correct. But if look, I'm playing Snorlax Stall, I probably do. I drop this one in.
Probably not. I don't know. I'd say no.
Okay. All right. So, but the big one is the A spec, right?
Yeah,
So unfair stamp, and it's got unfair in the name, so we can all
maybe.
we
It
know.
doesn't actually have unfair in the name. It has.
Well, it in this translation it
Yeah.
has it, right? We don't know the official translation. You can play this only if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your last turn, which we're losing Raihan, so we're getting something like that back. Very different though. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. You draw 5, your opponent draws 2, and it's obviously only 1 in the deck because it's an A spec. So it's good, right? I mean, reset stamp was a good card. Now that wasn't an A spec.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Uh,
Reset Stamp's different.
it is.
It's kind of like Ace Trainer. I think there's a card like Ace Trainer as well. It's kind of like Iono. It's very much like Roxanne,
Yeah.
but these are all support.
Mhm.
Well, Reset Stamp isn't a supporter. I think
Right.
the good thing is also Shuffle Draw 5 is pretty good. I mean, not on its own, but like, I mean, as an item, it's good. Obviously, I think this is arguably this might be the best Ace spec. Originally, I didn't think this, but um,
Well,
it's always like the issue with because Prime Catcher is probably regarded as the best Ace spec, right?
yeah, probably. I mean, it depends on the deck. This is for a single prize deck. This might be the best thing, right?
I
I
mean,
don't think multi-prize decks. You're not getting knocked out as much, so you're not getting as much value.
but I mean, you're only
You're
playing
not,
it once anyway.
but you might not have it the turn you need it. Is my point. Whereas if you're getting knocked out 5 to 6 times with a single prize deck, you're going to be able to unfair stamp sometime.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about Unfair Stamp is when you look at like an ace spec, if you look at an opening hand and you just have Prime Catcher,
Yeah.
like that's not, and your hand's like bad,
Mhm.
that's not doing anything. But if you have Unfair Stamp, as soon as you
Yeah.
get knocked out, you're like back in it. Not completely back in it, but you're somewhat back in it, assuming you have a bench Pokemon. So in that
Right.
sense, it's kind of like almost like computer search, which if you start like in an awkward position, it can get you out of that. So I think that's why it's good. And of course, it
Mhm.
disrupts your opponent. I mean, it's a good card. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say it's the best ace spec, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's fine. The fact that you only have 1 in your deck is good. If you could have 4 in your deck, that would not be good, I don't think. So,
Yeah.
and the fact that you draw 5 is probably a fair number. I kind of wish it would have 6 or something like that, but then maybe it would be too good, right?
Yeah,
Because you're
that's
getting
what I was
5,
thinking.
which is good, but 5, you're probably not going to hit the card you want still from that, right?
Maybe. Yeah. It depends. I mean, like if you have, yeah, if you're just using that, then no. But if you have like a lot of supporters and items, or if you have like an onboard draw engine, then you have a decent chance of hitting what you want.
Right, if you have an engine, because then you can get something else more after. But if you already have an engine, this is less useful. But look, I think it's a good card. I think it's a pretty balanced card.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's one of the top ace specs out there. I think, although I believe the most played ace spec in Japan was Master Ball.
I don't think
So
that's true. I think it like I'm pretty
you
sure
think that
that's not
that was
true.
wrong?
I think there was like the big tournament and it won the big
Right.
tournament. I don't know if it's actually the most played. Um,
I think that's what people said. But again, I think Japan, the cards are available immediately on release,
oh
and
yeah,
that
so
there might not have been time to get the cards. Whereas you could play your old Master Ball, which
yeah,
so those cards existed.
people might only have Master Ball, in which case that's the best.
Yeah.
One thing with Unfair State, you can combo it with Trevenant V, I think. Is that the right card? Oh, never mind. I'm being stupid. It rotates. Um,
Okay.
so never mind. Yeah, you can combo with things that disrupt hand though, right? So,
You're playing it with the one that grabs 2 cards from their
no,
hand,
they're
right? Or
items.
discards 2.
They're
Well,
items.
there's an attack too, right? That
That was
does
Trevenant V,
something.
I think. I mean, Trevenant V does
Um,
that. Which
yeah.
I don't know if that's what you're thinking of. That's what I was thinking of. But there are
Okay.
ways. Oh no, there's Arbok EX. Is that what you're thinking
Yeah,
of?
Arbok EX. That's what I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah, Arbok EX. Yeah, so you could do that. That's pretty good, I guess. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's three darkness energy on a stage one, which isn't like impossible to power up by any means, but it's not super easy either. I think this is
Right.
actually pretty decent though. Again, and this will encourage people to have onboard draw engines. And then you said the issue with
Hmm.
Ursaluna EX that it will, or Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, it will encourage people not to take knockouts, which this
Yeah.
might also, which is a little annoying.
Right. Playing slow may become, I mean, longer games are good in general, but games where, I don't enjoy a reversal energy mirror match, whatever they're playing, where people are like trying, you got to take the knockout first, or I can't do anything, right? And those type of games aren't real fun.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think games are can be. I played a Control versus Mill game the other day.
Mm. Yeah.
And it was fun. I lost. I misplayed. I was
Okay.
playing Control. Normally Mill's favorite as well, but I misplayed. I could have won. It was really complicated. I hadn't played Control in a while. It was actually in a post rotation. I was playing in person with some people.
Hmm. Okay.
And so they were playing the Great Tusk Mill. Um,
Yeah.
and I messed up. I mean, there's a lot of complexities, but
Hmm.
I think that's fun. Although the other person was not enjoying it. So
Well, they're playing Mill, so they shouldn't complain about your deck either, right?
no,
Neither of you should
yeah,
complain about your
no.
opponent's deck.
Um, I think it was like their first time trying like real, or their like second time, but like ever.
Okay.
They're like, this isn't fun. I just like sat here. I just like this. It was like turn like 50 or something, you know.
Hmm.
Anyway, so speaking of broken cards, that transition didn't really work. We were kind of talking about unfair stamp, and then we kind of stopped. So anyway, we
Yeah.
were talking about, if you saw the title and thumbnail, the main thing we're talking about is the best cards of all time. And
Yeah.
so, where do you want to start, or should I just choose somewhere?
Why don't you start, because you brought this up as a topic, and at this point we of course we're recording this before we have a title and thumbnail, so hopefully you're going to come up with a
What are you
good
talking
thumbnail
about?
for this.
When everyone clicked on this, they saw the title and thumbnail, and now after they clicked on it, now we're talking to them. So we obviously already have a title.
Okay.
But no. So I'll talk about this article. It's from the website Wargamer. I think Warhammer is the game it's about. I'm not very familiar with things that aren't Pokemon, to be honest.
Okay.
But this is a list, a top 10. Well, it's a top 11 list by someone. I don't know if this person necessarily plays the Pokemon TCG. This was from 3 weeks ago. We have two articles, and they should
Yep.
both be linked down below in the description and on the YouTube video. I don't know about other platforms. But the one article is good. This first one is very decent, especially for
Yeah.
someone who doesn't necessarily play the game, although they might. And I think
Hmm.
they do. I actually don't know. It's pretty good though. And then on the other card, the other article is not. Well, you'll see. But so this list has 11 cards that are considered
Yeah.
the greatest of all time. And before getting into this, I want to say that I, 10 Types, know a bunch about the history of the Pokemon TCG. Uncommon Fossil knows less, but still, I
Yes.
was gonna say a bunch. Would you
I
say a
know
bunch?
some things.
Yeah.
I don't. I would not, but you can if you wish.
Okay, you know a ton. You're just like an absolute genius. No, so we're starting off with and oh, so there's just 11 list cards here, and then a short like phrase to say why they belong on this list. So first of all,
Right.
you have Zoroark GX, a versatile KOing monster. I think that's fair. It's good. This card, I think, hot take, Zoroark GX is a little overrated. Um, I think it was in a very popular era, like a very well liked era of the game,
Hmm.
and it was good. Arguably the best Pokemon of that time. Arguably not. I'd actually say it's the second, but it was good. But I think people like overhype it a little too much. And also one thing, newer cards are generally stronger than older, or newer Pokemon are stronger than older
Right.
Pokemon. Um, and also both these lists tend to lean towards stuff that's of what most people describe as the modern era, which is black and white on, which is
Yeah.
expanded on. And I think that's mostly what we're going to be talking about when we bring up our own cards. But Zoroark GX, and then Claydol from
I
E.
mean, look, Zoroark has, you discarded a card for its ability drew two, so it's Curlia, right?
Yep,
Which is
good.
but that's a single prize, which might even be better than Zoroark's ability. and that evolves into a Gardevoir EX, and the other Gardevoir is probably a better attacker than this, right? So I don't know that Kirlia Gardevoir is not a better combo than Zoroark.
Yeah, and then your
But
attack is Rider's Beating, which is 20, and then 20 more for each Pokemon in play. No, each of your Pokemon in play. I was going to say that. Didn't sound right. Which is directly worse. Well, it is 2 colorless. It's a stage 1. It's directly worse than Suicune V, though. Well, okay, it could be the same amount. But assuming your opponent has any bench Pokemon, it's directly worse. So that doesn't sound super good. At the time, it was very good. And it's colorless, so you can put it in
right,
any deck. Claydol
yeah.
next up from, I don't remember the set. I want to say it's like EX something. I kind of forget. Oh no, it's Great Encounters. Yeah, I don't know stuff before. I don't know sets before Black and White super well, or at least before Heart Gold Soul Silver.
So this is this is pre-expanded, right? So
Yeah.
we can't play it. And is it before Legacy format as well?
Yeah. Legacy was pretty sure. The cards that were in Legacy, it was like a year's worth of cards. So.
And that was just Heart Gold Soul Silver, right? That's the Legacy, not in expanded.
Yep. Although I don't know, Legacy doesn't like exist anymore, so.
No, I know,
It's a
but we played on
Legacy.
PTCGO and out. So yeah, these cards we wouldn't have ever really played.
Yeah. So Claydol, it has its ability. Well, it's not an ability. It's a Poke Power, which is essentially an ability that says once on your turn, you may choose up to 2 cards from your hand and put them on the bottom of your deck in any order. The order doesn't obviously really matter. If you do, draw until you have 6 cards in hand. So this is kind of like Barbarrel or cards like that, but better because you
Right.
can use it if your hand's kind of clogged, which is really nice. So the Claydol was very good. And I feel like it deserves to be on this list. It's very good. As I said, it's an older card. I'm not as familiar. Next up, we have Shaman EX. This hot take, maybe a little overrated as well, but its ability set up when you play this from your hand onto your bench. It's a basic, draw till you have 6 cards in hand. Same as Crobat V, or I don't know. I think there might have been other cards like it, but you can use it as often as you'd like during your turn. So you can then scoop it up using a card like Scoop Up Net, and then that's broken. So without Scoop Up Net, it's not as good. It's without any form of scooping up, it's kind of underwhelming. Not bad. I mean, it's still good, but
yeah, I mean they fixed the problem with Crobat V by making that once per turn,
and also not having Scoop Up Net interact with it.
Right. Well, right. Scoop Up Net's when it was out, but it couldn't pick up the Vs. This Shaman, is that banned from expanded right now?
Yeah, Shaman is banned. And Scooping is also banned. Shaman might get unbanned, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good. It was good. They also mentioned Uxie or Uxie. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me see. So I'm looking at PKMNcards.com. I don't use this site very much, but Uxie, I believe, is 7. I believe Uxie's better. Yeah, it's 7. So this is kind of weird. Everyone, like, Shaman's generally regarded as one of the best cards of all time. Shaman EX are a very good card at the very least. And Uxie's better. Like, it's just better. But then it was played some. It was a good card, but not anywhere near as good as Shaman EX. And this is kind of weird. So Uncommon Fossil, would you say Shaman's better, or would you say Uxie's better? Because Shaman saw more play, but it's a worse card. I mean, ignoring the attack and stuff.
Wait, Uxie? Which Uxie is it? I see. With setup on it.
Yeah, same ability.
You may put Uxie from your hand onto your bench and draw till you have 7. Well, the other Druid is 6, but you had to put back at least 1 card, or you could put back 2 cards, so you could thin your hand some first.
Wait, what are you talking about? No, Shaman versus Uxie, not Claydol.
Shaman. Oh, I see. Yeah, sorry. Which is better? Shaman.
Yeah. Well,
versus
you
Uxie?
say because Shaman saw more play and was better when it was in play, when it was in format. But Uxie's like a directly stronger card.
I would say Uxie seems like the better card.
Okay, but I thought okay. Before you said the podcast, you said you weren't, or you were accounting for Era.
Well, I am up to a point, is what I think up to a point. So it depends on how you ask me the question.
So would you say in the all-time great cards list, would you put Uxie above Shaman? Yeah.
Now you're making me cough. Look, if you want to be spicy, you put Uxie above it because everybody says Shaman, right?
Yeah. Well, no, but the older people might say Uxie. You never know. There may be like, what is this brand new card, Shaman, that came out like 15 years ago? Was it 15? I think it's not 15. I think it's 10. Yeah, it's like 10 years ago.
Right, where Uxi's another 5 or 6 years older than that.
5 or 6. I think it's much older. Is it?
It's 2008, it looks like to me.
Okay, so
Uxie.
it's like, okay, so um anyway, so I'd say Shaman's better, but it doesn't really matter. And we're talking
Mm,
newer cards.
yeah,
Next up
yeah.
we got a
Generally expanded cards, right? For the most part.
yeah. I was gonna say you want to read the next one, but it sounds like you're dying over there.
No, I'm
So
kind of choking over here, so you got to
um
carry it.
yeah. No, but now we're talking about us. It's Miraculous Duo. No, so Mewtwo Mew GX is a card here that
Mhm.
is, I guess, on the newer side. Yeah, it looks like it is on the newer side. It's actually the second newest, I think, of the cards on this list. I'm scrolling through
Is it?
real quick. Yeah,
The
it is.
last card is in
It's,
standard, right? If I
yeah, the
remember
last card is in
correctly.
standard. So Mewtwo Mew, it copies GXs. This is weird, or it copies EXs and GXs, but
Right.
it's
Capital EXs.
yes,
Which, if you're playing expanded now, that matters
yeah, it does.
because
Which is
yeah.
annoying, honestly, because then there's some cool EXs that you can't use. But anyway, so this is pretty good. It won a world championship. I think a lot of these won world championships. I think, yeah, I guess all of
Mhm.
these won world championships. Not all of them. Most of these won world championships. But anyway, the ones that didn't
Yeah.
were like banned or like
Yeah, when a card gets banned, that's a good reason to
yeah.
think it's good too.
So anyway, where is it? It copies attacks. It was good. It's obviously reliant on other
Mhm.
cards. Um, I don't
Right.
know. I honestly don't know how like I think because the tag teams are very good. It being 270 HP on a basic is obviously very good. I don't
Right.
know if I even think this is the best tag team. I
This is the only tag team, right?
Yeah, this is the only tag team
On the
on
list?
this list here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know that. Look, this was a good card. You played this card a fair amount.
I
I
played
didn't
this
really play
some.
it too
It
much.
was kind of hard to get on PCGO.
Yeah, I mean, I think ADP might have been better though
Yeah, that's
as
what
a
I was
tag team.
thinking. ADP. So there's ADP, there's Picrom, and there's Reshazard. Reshazard was only
Right,
good because of
Reshazard
the
could be
supporting
better.
stuff, though. I think.
Well, because there's so much good fire stuff out there.
Yeah,
That's what
which
you
like
mean, right?
very much synergized with it. So I don't know. And then
Yeah,
Pikarom, debatably also a world champion. Um,
yeah.
but that like
Pikarom relied on the rest of the deck too, though. Pikarom wasn't
it
that
did.
great in
Yeah, I
of
know.
itself,
That's
right?
why like its HP, its damage, its attacks just aren't as good. Not bad, but like they're not amazing. I think I'd
Yeah,
say ADP is the best GX tag team GX. Um,
yeah,
but
probably.
anyway,
And I
Mewtwo
like
Mew
Luke
GX is
Metal, but
good. Yeah, Luke Metal is good, but
y-
it's
y-
not
yes, I mean, Me Too Mew could be top 10. I'm not sure.
top
I
10 what
don't think
all
it's at the
time.
top. Maybe,
I mean, I don't
but I
know.
think you
I
have to put
think
ADP ahead of it, so it probably doesn't
you
make
know,
the list.
I don't think any tag teams are top 10 all time. We're not actually making a list in this video, but I actually don't know either.
Right.
Next up we got a card that I have an even hotter take on, Slowking. Hot take. This
Okay.
card like doesn't exist. So
What do you mean? I
just
see
like
the image
this
here.
isn't a real card. No, so
Could
Slowking,
you play it though?
yeah. So this is
All
a
right. Go, go,
card.
go.
Its ability is this Pokepower, but its ability said whenever your opponent plays, so if it's in play, whenever your opponent plays a trainer, they flip a coin. If tails, the trainer like doesn't work essentially. Um,
Yeah.
I think I said it wrong. I think it's heads, but anyway. And so that's good. I think they keep
Mhm.
the trainer, doesn't get discarded, but
It
um,
goes on top of their deck.
yeah. But then but this card wasn't supposed to stack, which it was still been like decent, but um,
Hmm.
like the 50% chance they can't use it like the trainer, which is obviously
Right.
disruptive, but it's not like completely game breaking. But then it was because then you could stack it, and then you could play 4 or maybe 3 or whatever, and then you need to flip a bunch of coins in a row and then have them all heads or
Yeah.
whatever, all tails, I think. Um, and then and then from that point on, like you just can't really play trainers, right? So
Right, which is huge. I mean, because item lock we know is significant in the game, but if you luck out all trainers, I mean that's you're not doing much in Pokemon.
yeah, and
You
I'm pretty
really
sure
you have to have trainers.
this is like trainers, not items. I don't know. I kind of forget. I know this is like an important thing because like trainers and items are like, I don't know. They Pokemon have these weird rulings or the weird naming things that I didn't like. Um, which is
Right.
partially why I don't like talking about like even Legacy, they had trainers, but trainers weren't trainers, they were items. Um,
Yeah.
Trainer was a subclass of trainer, which to me like doesn't I mean it doesn't make sense, right? But I mean they just make EXs and then EXs and then EXs, so they do stupid things anyway. But
Yeah.
including this, where they translated this card wrong and then they didn't do anything, they didn't errata it or like ban it. I mean I think they banned it eventually,
Hmm.
but not for a while.
So do you know, was the card in Japanese? Was it not stacking in Japanese? Do you know?
Yeah, it wasn't stacked in Japanese. It was you have one. So I think there's like a line, and I think they just like forgot that line or something.
They Okay. Well, that's a big mess. I'm surprised they didn't errata it. At this point, they
This
would
was
have
like back in the
errata the
olden
card.
days when they'd like I don't know, Pokemon just wasn't as I don't know. I mean, this is a long, long time ago. Back in before color was invented.
Two, except for this card, right?
Exactly. Yeah, except for this card. Um, no, so
Yeah, that's not good. That making that mistake.
yeah, I mean, so this card is a bit of a train wreck. I guess I could put it on like I mean, it's really broken. As I said, I don't
Hmm.
really consider it like an actual card though. So,
Yeah. So was this card banned while it was still in standard format?
yeah, I think it was banned like pretty late into its time in standard though. Yeah, here it says
Okay.
it was really good from 2000 to 2002, which is
Okay.
pretty much the whole time. It was
Oh
in
yeah. So it was
standard.
around for 2 years and banned, but they're only at like around for 2.5 years.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, okay. Next up we have Cleffa. Cleffa. I don't know. I don't know all the history behind this card, but pretty much it stops your opponent from like attacking half the time. It's a baby Pokemon. It has like an attack that's like good. Um,
Right.
it's weird. I think it had to. It was like really good against the meta, like absurdly good against the meta. This I know very little about this era of Pokemon and like this card, but I know this card was good. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, Unconf
Yeah.
also.
I
Do you
mean,
know much more about it?
well, I'm trying to remember. So it's there's a baby Clef out now too, correct? That
Well, yeah. Well, this is
um
actually a baby mechanic though. So this it's stage. I guess it is. It is a
it's a
basic,
baby,
but it's also a baby. And whenever your opponent
right?
tries
And
to
there were special
attack,
baby rules.
yeah. So
Yeah. Go ahead.
whenever your opponent tries to attack, they flip a coin. If tails it, that doesn't attack. I'm trying to think
Yeah.
if I thought they had another rule. I don't know. They had baby Pokemon a bunch of times. They had like free retreat. Sometimes had free attacks. Had like no
Right.
weakness resistance. Um, they're kind of weird cards, to be honest. Oh, you can
And I think
evolve
there are
them.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
isn't.
That
I don't
what
think it
babies
mattered that
were.
much.
Okay. Babies changed over time, and I think there is some way to make it so they had to flip more than one head to like knock you out too. I think.
Maybe there
I'm
might have been
not
some
sure
cards
though.
that would combo with. But anyway, Cleffa. I mean, it's like good. I'd probably put it. I guess I'd put it top 10. It's a card I don't know much about. And also, again, like if this card is in format today, it would be like I don't know if it would be any good. It might be okay, but I don't think it would be like broken or anything.
Probably not. And I've heard discussions about it because this was a long time ago, and well before we played. So none of the cards that interacted have we played with. I think it fixed some problem in the game at the time. I think, but
Yeah,
I don't
but that
remember
doesn't
what
necessarily
that
mean it's
was.
like broken. I mean, it can mean it's broken. I guess it needs to
No.
be good to fix it. But anyway, like if this was in format today, you'd be like, oh, look, I got this Iron Valiant. Oh, I won. Right. So, yeah, Clefairy is good, but old. Yeah. Next up, we have Mewtwo EX. This is a bit of an infamous card. It does X Ball 20 times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon for 2
Right.
colorless, and then it's weak to itself, so you just like smash each other with Mewtwo EXs back and forth. And it was kind of silly.
Hmm.
And this was like when there was like a lot of basic Pokemon. Mewtwo EX is just really good. Um, and I guess it might be the best Pokemon EX. I'd say it's second or third behind Shaman, and
Okay.
then potentially another card that we'll talk about.
Hmm. Because there's double colorless energy, which was in format,
Yeah,
um, which powered up. And honestly, that's not on these lists, but that could be one of the best cards ever too,
yeah,
right?
double colorless it was very good. I mean, it kind of depended. Like if it was in format now, it wouldn't be bad. It would be like decent, but uh, a lot of the times, like certain cards are made with it in mind. Like Mewtwo EX is made with it in mind. Um,
Right.
and some of these cards were like Zoroark GX is kind of made with it in mind, but Yeah, I mean, Double Colorless Energy is a very good card. It was also in format for a really long time. I don't know if that,
Mhm.
I personally wouldn't, I don't know if I'd say that makes it better. I mean, obviously it means it saw more play, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, right. It is more universal, right? Whereas a card like Mewtwo EX goes in a deck. So is something specific better than something people like the specific, and people like Pokemon and the Pokemon trading cards over trainers and energies too.
Yeah. Next up, we have the only trainer on this list,
Yeah.
and it's Lysander's trump card. One thing, so I think people misinterpret this card. In this article, misinterprets this card, but it says each player shuffles all cards. It says support each player shuffles all cards in their deck from the disco pile. No, from the disco pile into their deck, except for
Right.
Lysander's trump card. But there's a card that recovered like supporters, so you pretty much it recovered everything.
Hmm.
Obviously this is kind of broken. Arguably, so people always say the
Well,
reason this card.
well, it depends what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're a deck that's trying to just take prizes, you don't. This would be just a waste of your supportive return.
Yeah, but well, it was really good with Shaman EX. So
Hmm.
I mean, it's also really good. It like recovers resources. Like it means you can just turbo through your deck.
Right.
Like say you have a deck
Hmm.
with like Darkrai V-Star, which isn't that good of a deck. I don't know why this is the example I thought of. You play for Dark Patch, or there are other
Yeah.
decks that play for Dark Patch. But like a deck that
Hmm.
plays for Dark Patch, you want to play. If you could play those four every turn, it's really good. So you can just turbo. You can
Yeah.
play a turbo deck, but you can turbo every turn, which is why it's broken. This
Hmm.
issue and
You
this. Hmm,
you can get back your ace back every turn as well.
Yeah, that's true. When was this? I don't remember. But it was played with some stuff. It was played with Seismitoad EX, which we'll talk about, which was kind of broken.
Hmm.
So you'd like item lock your opponent and then recover all their cards, and then they'd have all these items that they can't play, and then you play all your items. But then your opponent would also
Hmm.
play Seismitoad EX. So pretty much you'd just be Lysander's trump carding, and then item locking, and that was about it. Um, anyway,
Yeah.
and then this card got banned. But some people
And
say,
this card's also banned. Well, this card's also banned from GLC, correct?
yeah,
If I remember.
yeah,
And
and
that you
expanded.
used to.
Yeah, I
Okay.
used to play this. I have an art. So there's a GLC website, and I have an article on it. And I
Hmm.
have this card in my deck. Because
Yeah.
it wasn't banned at the time. But I'm pretty sure. But anyways, a
Yeah.
lot of
Go ahead.
people say that this was banned because it wiped out a win condition, which is technically true. I mean, it is true, but that win condition is
Hmm.
deck out, which is rare, and not the main win condition, quite frankly. It's like at all. It's
Right.
not like it's just there so that the game doesn't go on forever. Now this card can cause the game to go on forever, but there are other cards that can do that as well. So I feel like people say that's the reason it was banned, and it's not. It was banned because it was broken, not because it eliminated a win condition that quite frankly wasn't really going to happen anyways. I mean, it could happen. It's not like it was impossible or anything. Um, but I don't think it was
R-
banned because it eliminated the win condition.
Yeah, I mean, obviously decking out's still a thing, but they print Pidgeot V, which is obviously just a simple way to avoid decking out and stuff. So, um, yeah, I don't think that's a reason in and of
Yeah. I mean, didn't you
itself.
say you wanted Pidgeot V banned at like some point?
Oh, I think that well, and that is that rotating or not? Now that I think
No,
about it.
it's not.
Okay. I mean, back, I think, here's what I'll say. In Snorlax Stall, I think it's evolved to the point it's more interesting now. They're more teched out like a control deck than it was originally. And the fact that you can just play 4 Pidgeot Vs in like your, for Snorlax and just play a Pidgeot V and you could play Stall pretty mindlessly, I didn't think was good.
Yeah, I guess.
So,
Anyway,
anyway.
so and then I think we have so we have one card. We have Mega Gengar EX. So Mega Gengar EX is not that
Yeah.
good. I don't
Is
know.
what?
It's kind of bad. I mean, not bad. It wasn't like awful. I like this card a lot actually. It's really fun in Mewtwo and Mew
Hmm.
GX decks. It's not even necessarily played in all the Mewtwo and Mew GX decks. It's not played in like I don't even know if it's played in the majority. It probably isn't in
Hmm.
expanded, right? This card isn't very good. So it copies one of your opponent's attacks. I didn't play too much during this era, but I've heard a lot of the decks, and I like hadn't heard of this card really being played in standard, and I don't think it was. So I
Hmm.
don't know why this card's on this list. Um, yeah,
Yeah, well, and there's the Mega Evolution rule that when you evolved into it, your turn ended. So the idea was these were powerful cards, but if it ends your turn, that's a big
yeah.
a
I mean, you
big
have the
drawback.
Spirit Links though. I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming this had a Spirit Link.
So, which is a tool
yeah,
that
to make
stopped your turn from ending, correct?
yeah. At first I thought all the megas had spirit links, but then I saw like somewhere that they didn't, which I guess is true. I don't know. All the ones
Okay.
I've seen play certainly had spirit links.
Hmm.
Because obviously not ending your turn is good. Although I made a video talking about all the mechanics, and I said I didn't like spirit links. I think they're kind of annoying because they're kind of silly because you have this
Hmm.
interesting mechanic where, as you said, you like get punished, or not punished, but there's a big downside and a big upside, but then you just remove the
Right.
downside. So
Yeah, I mean, you have to put at least one copy of that tool in your deck, and you have to get access to it. So it may be balanced. It
I
just
mean,
depends.
yeah, I think it might be balanced, but I don't think it's necessarily interesting.
Okay.
It's just like, oh, you need this tool on this Pokemon. Anyway, next up we have Tapu Lele GX, which is an amazing support Pokemon card as it says. That is very generic. But it searches for a supporter on play, and its other attack energy drive, or its main attack energy drive. Why is this image
Hmm.
blurry? Its attacks the same as Mewtwo EXs. It was later, but it still saw a lot of play. It was colorless. It does not hit weakness, and also is not
Hmm.
like weak to anything. This card was incredibly good. They actually changed the supporter rule. After this rotated, I believe. Um, but
But by that, it was you could play supporter turn one going first. Is that
yes, yeah,
what you mean?
yeah.
Okay.
So that was obviously useful. Having more access to your supporters when they're better is obviously good. This card was
Yeah.
good. Um, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
Its
again, double
attack was good.
colorless energy is important, right?
Yeah,
That double
definitely.
colorless, you
Yeah, that's
need
probably
that.
the reason people would attack with this. If you didn't have double colorless, it's pretty terrible to attack without it. I mean, maybe if you had some other acceleration, but
Right.
yeah, I'm trying to think of a deck that would play this with energy acceleration that wouldn't play double colorless. There's like a
Hmm.
Magnezone. There are actually two Magnezone that were like the same but different. Um,
All right. All right. Sorry. I have a question for you here. So if this is one of the top 10 cards of all time, and everyone talks about how great this card was,
yeah, they
right?
do,
So
and I think it's very good. I think this is probably the best Pokemon GX or best non-tag team. I think it's the best. I
okay.
think it probably is second best
So,
actually.
so here's my question where I'm going to, so it's largely for its ability, correct?
Yes. Are you gonna talk about
So
Lapras?
no, I'm going to
No.
say, but right now we have a Pokemon in the game right now with the same ability, right? In
Yeah.
Lumineon V. And it's not even close to, it's obviously not only is it not a top 10 card of all time, it's not a top 10 card right now. And I don't know if it's a top 50 card right now.
Yeah.
So how can this card that the biggest part's the ability be the same as the ability right now, and how can it be so much better than Lumineon V?
I think it has to do with the supporter rules. So damage is now higher. So that means, or like generally it's higher.
Hmm.
I think power creep gets exaggerated some, but it still is
Yeah.
like a factor. So Lumineon's getting one-shotted. Tapu Lele isn't necessarily getting one-shotted.
Hmm.
Its attacks
Okay.
noticeably better. Like Tapu Lele's attacks pretty decent, and then the supporter rule is a pretty big deal as well. Um,
Okay. Hmm.
so getting turn one supporters is obviously important if you can. I mean, in standard, getting a turn
Okay.
one supporter going second is very important, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, look, the attack is clearly better than Lumineon V. Most decks can't attack with Lumineon V that play them.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, yeah. So there are a bunch of reasons. Oh, path. That's also a reason. Like if
Hmm.
it doesn't work, it's not as good. And there wasn't really anything shutting down Tapu Lele for the most part.
Okay. All right.
But now
So
we
part
come
of
to
it was the situation.
yep. But now we come to your card, the card that the only card
To
in
the
this list that
goat,
you've
right?
played with. I don't know if that's true, but
I
have you played
played with
Mewtwo Mew?
Mewtwo and Mew, I think, a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. It always confused me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Arceus V-Star, which is a tremendous card, right? Its ability, Starbirth, is amazing, right? Search your deck for any two cards once during the game. Very good. And the attack, Trinity Nova, 200, a solid amount. You're not one-shotting things, but you're two-shotting everything, and that's okay. And then you're powering up your other V Pokemon in the process, right? Very good. Accelerate 3 energies to your Vs. So very, very good card.
Yeah. I think this is do you think this deserves to be on top 10 best cards of all time? Or I guess of
Uh,
the modern era is probably how we're doing this. But yeah, to me it's
I,
close.
maybe. I think I think it's borderline probably, but it certainly some of these other cards in the list probably don't belong here though. I
Which
think, right?
ones? Which ones? I think this is a pretty good list. I mean, they're mostly newer. I'd take out Mega Gengar, right? Without Mega
Yeah,
Gengar, this is 10
Mega
cards and it's
Gengar.
um
Yeah,
as I
I
said,
think
I'd take
Mewtwo
out
and Mew doesn't belong, but probably put ADP in instead.
maybe. I don't know. I think ADP is about a very similar power level to Mewtwo and Mew. I drop um I drop, as I said, I drop Slowking. I know some people think that's kind of a silly take, but I don't really count it.
Hmm.
I might drop Mewtwo EX as well. I mean, it was good. It was very good.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think it's I think Seismitoad EX is better than Mewtwo EX personally, which says 30 an item lock for one double colorless. I mean, it was part of the ban combo with Lysander's Trump card and Shaman EX. So having 3 cards from one deck on the top 10 seems kind of weird. Um, and then as we
Yeah.
mentioned, Shaman EX, Uxi's like directly better. Lapras is directly better than Hapu Lele. Wait, is that Lapras? I don't
Hmm.
remember this card super well. I can't spell. Um, oh, there's a lot more Okay. Um, yeah, it is just Lapras. It's not like some Lapras something. So, yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Next up, what do you want to move? Do you want to move to
Well, hang on.
celebrations
Let me
or
just say here. Let me just say this is the reason I might not put it on the list. Though I'm going to give you the negative. I
which
think
one?
it might Arceus V Star because it was the best deck and format for one set, the best card for one set. Then Palkia
I
came
don't
out
know.
in blue,
It's a few sets.
and then it kind of came back though. Palkia, it had more lasting power than Palkia. And then Mew came out a couple sets later in white. In that, so it's yeah,
I think that's
I
true for
don't know.
most of the attackers on this list, though. Well, how many attackers are there? There's only like one
Uh,
attacker. Are this Zoroark? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true for Zoroark
Well, Mewtwo and
GX.
Mew.
Yeah, it's true for Mewtwo and Mew, and it's true for is there not another one? Oh, there's Mega Gengar, but that one wasn't very good. Yeah, so it's true for pretty much every attacker.
Okay.
I think it's the least true for Mewtwo EX, I guess. I'm trying to think through, but I mean, it wasn't like the best card the whole time it was in format or anything. Um,
Yeah.
and like even
Okay.
Zoroark GX is regarded as super good, and I agree with that. But I mean, tag teams came out and it didn't beat tag teams. Like it didn't really compete with tag teams. So, um,
Right.
anyway, so where do you want to go next? The other article or celebrations?
Well, let's see. You want to talk about the other articles some, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're getting long. I don't. You want to skip celebrations
Let's
and
actually
just do the
fly
other
through
article?
celebrations. So
Okay.
I'll
And by
just go.
this you mean the older cards and celebrations,
Yeah,
not the ones that were the standard cards.
yeah. So celebrations was a mini set. It had like some regular cards, but then it also had reprints of older cards. Let's see which ones do
Right.
we need to talk about. Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur, not there. Some people would put Blastoise, but it doesn't belong there. I'm just gonna tell you that. I mean, it's fine, but um, anyway,
Okay.
Imposter Professor Oak doesn't. Dark Gyarados doesn't. Here Comes Cheap Rocket doesn't. I don't know much about Rocket Zapdos. I know it was okay. Um, I don't think it belongs here. Blank Pikachu was banned because it didn't. You could like cheat by like lying about your birthday. Yeah, Cleffa, we just talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some weird
Right.
cards in this list. Cleffa, I think yes, but it's old. Shining Magikarp, I don't know. I'm assuming this card is pretty terrible. Team
I'm
Magma's
not sure.
Groudon. I do you know much about? I don't know much about this card. I'm
No,
assuming
I do
yeah.
not.
I know it
It's a
was like
Pokebody.
decent. I'm trying to think. I think it was decent. I'm trying. Yeah, I really don't know much about it. I know it was pretty decent. I don't think it was like all time like great. I don't even know. I don't know what decks it was played. Like it was. I mean, I know what deck it was played in, but like it was the Team Magma's deck. Did this one Worlds? I think it did. Anyway, then we have Rocket's admin. So we need to talk about Rocket's admin, aka N, aka
Okay.
Iono. Iono and N are different. Rocket's admin and N are the same though. You just play shuffles their hand to their deck and draws a card for each
Hmm.
prize card. Do you think this is an all-time
Yeah.
great card?
Um, well, it depends how you mean great. Like if all-time great in terms of broken, no. An all-time great card in terms of really good for the TCG, yes. Does
I
that make
guess. I think it's
sense?
good. I don't think. I think it's like people think it's really good because it's in the format, and then it's not in the format. I do. I think it's good for
Right.
the format. It can be a little, in my opinion, a little too disruptive late game to be like healthy for the format as well.
It could be. I mean, certain cards that won't get are discussed in these lists is like Reset Stamp, which was
Yeah, no, I think
tremendously
Reset Stamp
rough.
could be there. It was banned, right? I mean, it is banned and expanded.
Right, but it wasn't banned in standard.
Yeah, I mean, it
So
wasn't broken in standard though. I mean, you could do like handlock and like be annoying with it, but also it wasn't played that much. It was good, but
no, well, Pika-ROM was built around kind of falling behind in reset stamping a lot
I
of times,
guess. I mean, but it's
in a
not like
sense.
Reset Stamp was the most important. There are a lot of different things, like Marnie. There are a lot of different forms of disruption in that deck as well. So
Yeah, I'm just saying. Anyway, reset stamp could be one of these a card in contention too. But
yeah.
anyway,
Mew EX. This one was this the original Mew that like copied? I don't remember. I think this card was very good. Yeah, I don't know this card super well. I know there are a bunch of Mews like this, and I think this was the first one. I know the first one was like really broken. I don't know
so
if
this could copy the attacks of all Pokemon in play,
yeah,
including your opponents too,
yeah,
right?
including all of your opponents and all of yours, which
Right.
is very good.
Yes.
Gardevoir EX. I don't know this card. I don't really know this card much at all.
Hmm.
This isn't like there's a broken Gardevoir. There have been a lot of broken Gardevoirs, or like very good Gardevoirs, some very broken. This one is not it though.
Okay.
But the Gardevoir, there's like the ability lock, and there's a level X, and then there's a new EX. And they're all
Hmm.
like good. The GX, there were a lot of good ones, but yeah, Umbreon Star. No, I don't remember exactly how good this card was. It's kind of a different
Okay.
category because it's a Pokemon Star, which is like a Radiant Pokemon or like a it's pretty much like a Radiant Pokemon, which to me, like I feel like it's supposed to be better, and it is better, but like it's not like absurdly broken. Claydol we talked about. Luxray level X I know is very good. Garchomp C level
Hmm.
X I know a little bit less about, although I know they were played together. Good.
Okay. Hmm.
Not as good as Luxray level X I don't think. And again old. Donphan Prime, hot take,
Hmm.
overrated card. I don't know if it's overrated. I know PCG Radio likes it a lot. Um, I mean it's on his profile picture, right? So
Yeah.
you're just
So
agreeing.
yeah. No, I mean I don't know these cards. I have to read through and think about them to try
Oh.
and say
Well, but you
something.
don't know the
So
era. They're all different eras as well. So, um,
right.
Reshiram and Zekrom were like fine. I mean, they're not bad. They're cool. I like them. Oh, this Reshiram is really bright. I like can't see it very well. Um,
Just the white washes everything out.
yeah. But they're cool
Yeah, it is hard to
cards.
read.
I mean, they're decent cards. Obviously, what Reshiram? Oh no, Zekrom was the, were they both played? I really forget. No, okay, yeah, Zekrom was the one played in the Truth. I
Okay.
mean, okay, Donphan Prime was also played in the Truth, but which was a deck that came second place at Worlds. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Anyway, Mewtwo
Right. You said you're
EX.
gonna do this quickly, so
I am. I'm
let's
doing
get a
this
move
pretty
on here.
quickly. Is there any?
Okay.
But we need to talk about them. We need to give each. These are the greatest
All
of
right.
all time. You're disrespecting the goats. Like,
Okay. I thought these were just the greatest cards for collectors to spend their money to
these are
get
good
of all
cards. These
time.
are good
No, these are
cards.
players cards. Yeah.
Yeah, most of these are like greatest playable cards of all time. Or debatably, kind of. So
Mhm.
Mewtwo EX we talked about. Xerneas EX is not that good. I don't know why this one's here. I like actually don't know. Mega
Is
Rayquaza.
there a better fairy Pokemon? Is this the best fairy Pokemon of all time?
No, no. I think I'd say. I
Okay.
mean Gardevoir EX. No, sorry. Gardevoir GX won the World Championship. Um,
Okay.
I think yeah. I don't think it's that. Like it's fine. Mega Rayquaza. This card was good. Um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know too much about it. I mean, it was good. It's cool. I guess it's like Eternatus.
Mhm.
It's pretty much just Eternatus, but it's like old school Eternatus, which is fine. And then Lele. But now we need to
Mhm.
move to the top 30 cards of all time. This article is well, okay. So Uncommon Fossil, you want to read through the first few cards? I have not looked at all the cards. Have you? I think you said you did.
I think I scanned through them all. So now look, I'm just gonna say I don't think it's here either. But we're like card like Boss's Orders isn't like even under consideration for top 10 yet. I think it's kind of got to be. You
Well,
know what I'm saying?
Boss's
So
Orders
these
is directly worse than certain other cards,
or
though, as well.
Guzma.
Right? I mean,
Well,
it's directly worse than Gust of Wind or Old School Pokemon Catcher, right?
Well,
So,
if you count those, but if you don't, probably those are too old to count, right? So
well,
therefore, Guzma
Pokemon
or
Catcher
Boss
isn't. Well, you
probably
could
has to
say
be top 10.
Well, Pokemon Catcher isn't. I mean, it got errata, so technically you could
Well, you
say it
have to
doesn't
flip a
exist
coin on it
anymore.
now.
Well, yeah,
So,
but
well,
like, but within the time period we're talking about, it's still you do have like the old
flip.
Pokemon. You didn't have to flip for it in like black and white or whatever. I don't know when
Well,
it was
if
changed,
it,
but
well, I mean, if that counts, then that should probably be one of the top 10 cards of all time, right?
I
I
guess it
would
was
think.
good. It was balanced when it was in format as well.
All right. I'm saying a card like that gets no love. Anyway, we go to number 30 here, Colossal VMAX. And this was around when we were playing. And the card was good for one set,
Well,
kind of
I
good for
don't
one
know.
set.
I think it was the best card in a pretty terrible. Like in my mind, it's
Yeah.
bad. Like that's how I think of it. It's not that bad, but
Well, it hit Eternus for weakness, right?
yeah, but it didn't like one shot it. So, or it kind of
No.
could.
And
Not really.
it was maybe sort of kind of good. It was nowhere near as
Yeah.
it's not the 30th best, the top
Yeah.
30 of all time, though.
Maybe if you're
I
counting
mean,
expanded and not accounting for era, maybe, but like not really. And they don't say that. So they just said high HP. I'll admit it has high HP.
right, which it
Um,
is.
although not like not absurdly high. I mean, it's just quite high, but not like. I mean, there are other cards with high HP. And then its attack it does a ridiculous 240 damage, but it's 3 energy, or no, it's 4 energy.
It's
That's
4
like a
energy,
lot.
though.
It's
Right.
not impossible to power up. I don't know. So the
Right.
issue with this article, like, it doesn't really give. So you could make arguments for. I mean, you couldn't really make arguments for all these cards, but like they don't
No.
make arguments. They just like say them.
Right. There's no way that belongs in the top. Black Kirim EX.
This card
I
was
don't.
not good. Is this the best? I don't think this is the better. I think there's a different Black Urim EX. Which was better. I don't remember super
Was
well. Yeah,
there?
no, I think so. I think the other one was played
Okay.
occasionally. Over the 3, I don't remember. They printed too many of these guys. Yeah, there's one that was played in Blastoise, but not this one. So
Okay.
this card's bad.
So it's not. Yeah. There's not a reason to put it there. Mega Rayquaza EX.
Yeah, we just talked
Which
about
was
it,
in
but not
Celebrations.
this one. No, but this is the wrong
Oh, is that?
one. Or this
Oh,
one.
they got the wrong one again.
Yeah, I think. I don't know if they like. Yeah, the other one was better. This one, oh, I forgot about Delta Wild, the ancient trait. I honestly didn't really know that it existed. But anyway, so you can play this in Mewtwo and Mew, or no, you can play this in Regidrago because it does 300. Or Mewtwo
Okay.
Mew, but probably not Mewtwo Mew. But I mean, it's okay. Like it's okay in that deck. In
And
one
Regidrago
semi
because you
niche
don't have to pay the
expanded
energy
deck.
cost.
Yeah. I mean, no,
Right.
Regidrago's not niche and expanded. I guess it's pretty good, but still.
Right. All right. This next one, Gyarados
Yeah.
VMAX.
Well, we're gonna have all our Blitzel on next week. Maybe. Spoilers. We might not. We were supposed to this week, but he's sick.
He's
Rip.
feeling not great.
He was,
So
like,
what
kidney
he's
streak
going
and
to
stuff.
say, and he's going to defend the Gyarados VMAX.
Yeah, he'll be in
Is
here.
that
I know
what
he's
you're saying?
played it with Arceus. Well, he's like winning tournaments with it and stuff. So
Yeah, I think that probably goes to show the strength of Arceus, right? Arceus
yeah, and all of Blitzel.
card
He's
X.
a very good player.
Oh yeah, he's a very good online player. Really done very well in a lot of major online tournaments. So good player for sure. Yeah, look, I don't think Gyarados is a top card though, right?
Oh, you're a hater. No, yeah, this
Charizard,
card's pretty bad. It's like the 10th
and then
best VMAX.
Charizard V-Star, and that it's like getting worse as we go on, right? I mean,
I don't know. I'd say Charizard V-Star might be better than Gyarados VMAX. No, I'd say it's better than these earlier cards.
I don't know. Have you ever played it? Have you? I mean, because I've wanted to try this card. I can't put it in a deck that I felt like there's any reason I want it.
It's not very good, but I think it was
no.
It's borderline playable.
Okay, borderline playable, which obviously doesn't belong here. Cleffa, but this is the wrong Cleffa.
Yeah, this is the wrong Cleffa. So or wait, no. So yeah. I was like the art's definitely wrong. Yeah, no, this is just the wrong one. It's not bad. I actually don't know how good this Cleffa was. I think it might have been okay. So I like, but it's not that good. Let's see.
If it's asleep, it prevents all damage done to it. I don't know how you got it. So you attack, you go to sleep.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
But also like, yeah, I mean, this isn't an absurd. Well, I don't know. It's strange. It feels like it's the wrong Cleffa. Like they meant to put the other Cleffa on.
Yeah, I'm not sure with the history of Cleffas. I got to say, Shadow Lugia. This one I really don't know.
Okay, this card. This isn't a real card. This isn't. I mean, it's like technically a real card, but then it should
It's a
be
cool
number
looking
one.
card.
I mean, it's 300 HP. It does 1,000 damage, but
Oh,
like,
1,000 damage.
um,
So what's this from?
so this is
This
I
is
don't
from.
know where this was from. Oh, from a video game. So it was a promo card of the video game, but it's not a playable card, obviously. Um,
So
so
it's
and
not a legal card.
it's a effective as attack is a shadowy aura is used to whip up a vicious tornado. This is gonna kill people. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so this obviously isn't like
So
a real card, and if it was, it would be at the
yeah.
top. Like,
Right. I mean, this you put this in your expanded the psychic Gardevoir EX, right?
yeah,
So you
you
can
know,
get
this
all the
is good
energies
and good
on and you
Gardevoir.
just win everything.
Yeah, so this is I
Yeah.
mean I guess this might this the funny thing is this card well it would be good now if we didn't have Gardevoir. If we didn't have Gardevoir and Zado, like if we didn't have ways to get energy on this, it might not
Hmm.
even be that good, right? I mean it would be okay. But that's kind of
Well, it's a
because
single
it's
price
four.
Pokemon with
Yeah.
300 HP,
Yeah, I mean I guess
right?
you could just like
So
penny loop it, but it's
yeah.
it's kind of weird. I mean obviously 1,000 is a lot,
It,
but 4 energy is a lot as well.
right. So obviously it's not a playable card, should not be on the list at all. And the next one's Comfy, a very good card, obviously.
Yeah, this one's yeah.
I guess you could make arguments for it now. I mean, Lost Box is obviously very good. It gets tricky, like what's the best card from Lost Box
Yeah.
too, right?
Wait.
If you
Okay.
only
So I
put
wanna.
one.
So they actually mentioned Mirage. I wanna read out this section. So they say at
Okay.
first glance, nothing seems that impressive about it because it only has 7 HP and a bad attack.
Yep.
But then its ability is good. Because it sends a card to the Lost Zone. Now the second paragraph, filling up the Lost Zone is normally a detriment, but the deck's comfy fuels are filled to the brim with powerful cards that depend on it. Pokemon like Giratina V-Star can only use their best attacks when the Lost Zone is suitably full. And the powerful Mirage Gate item can't be used until at least 10 cards are lost. So that's wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
It's
maybe
yeah.
they like formatted the sentence weirdly because you need 10 for Giratina, but that's like not. I don't know. So yeah,
Well, they were talking about Giratina V-Star's attack before that, so maybe they
yeah,
that's what they meant initially, and then switched it. But all right, I mean, obviously the 7 and the 10 are the big numbers, right?
yeah,
7 and and 4
yeah,
for
and four.
Cramorants.
Um,
So yeah,
so yeah,
it's not well put together.
yeah, and I want to say this article was made. So this is by like a larger company, and it's made by a group of people. I'm guessing people just looked online and like grabbed some stuff and then tossed it together, which I know people do a lot. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm a YouTuber. No, I mean, but yeah, obviously. So I don't think they
Yeah.
play Pokemon, but obviously the other article is better. But anyway,
Well, and
so
maybe this was an article put together by AI too. I can kind of see
oh, it could
AI
be. I didn't think
grabbing
about
stuff,
that.
and
That
these are
could be
the
true.
random errors that get in from AI, and then they just
Yeah.
didn't proof it. They just stuck
That
it up there.
that'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. They also misspelled V-Star should be all capitalized. Come on. No. Uh, Next up, D double colorless energy. I think you mentioned this. I don't know if you
I
mentioned it
did.
on the podcast or before.
I think so. Yeah. I think double colorless can belong. I think it belongs in the discussion for top 10 cards.
Yeah, I think yeah. Oh yeah, you did mention it. So, and this is obviously
Yeah.
a good card on this list. There are some good
Hmm.
cards on this list. This list looks
Yeah.
like the other list. Anyway, so yeah, it's very good. Next up, we have Claydol. We talked about again, very good.
Yep.
Okay, why did they say this card came out in the Celebrations Classic Collection? Like,
Oh,
that's weird. Like, I mean, it's
well,
not wrong. I mean, it's kind of wrong. It's
right.
very
But it was
strange.
out before then,
Yeah,
right? Which
yeah. You can't
they
like,
recognize that.
yeah, it's kind
Ye-
of weird. Um,
Yeah, you should say when it came out originally, but so I
like on
don't,
the
yeah,
card it
doesn't
says
make,
when it came out originally as well. Anyway, the
yeah, it
Mega
came out in
Gengar.
2008 on the card image when you click on it, but they
Yeah.
say 2021.
Yep. Next up, we got Mega Gengar is back. For some
Yep.
reason, I don't know. I don't know
Even though
how
you don't
this.
like them.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that good. It's not like an awful card, but it's certainly not like top of all time. Got Mewtwo EX though. That's good. Mega Aggron EX. This card was bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is pretty terrible. I
Okay.
guess I'll
Yeah, I
look it
don't know
up.
it at all.
But
All right, do 120, flip a coin, it does 120 more. So 240, which obviously is one-shotting everything in the format. And 20, if you flip tails, it does 20 to each of your bench. So
yeah, but it's
I
four
don't like
energy,
that so
like
much.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
Yeah, I've never really like heard of this card. I know it exists, but I know. Yeah. Next
Hmm.
up, we got Zorak GX, a good card, obviously.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. Very good.
then we got Mega Venusaur. Like, why do we have all these megas? Where are these coming from?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is not. I don't. Again, I don't know too much about this. I'm pretty sure it didn't um see like any play. Let me look.
Hmm.
Yeah, looks like it didn't. Oh wait, no, there's two different ones. I forgot. There's anyway. I don't know. It doesn't look good. Next up we have Lucario and Melmetal.
Yeah.
It's your go. It's Lucario and Melmetal.
And I like this, but it's what the fourth best tag team or something like that.
Maybe. No, I'd say it's probably
I
fifth.
mean, you have
Behind ADP
is it
Pikarom,
fifth?
Charizard, and Mewtwo Mew.
Oh yeah, Rush Art. I forgot
You
that.
could
Yeah,
put
right. It should
Alolan
be.
Executor and Rowlet. I said it in the wrong order because of expanded, but I
Okay.
didn't say that earlier.
So it's at best the fifth best tag team.
Yeah. But we have
So it
14 more
doesn't
cards
belong.
on this list, so
Which maybe they're all tag teams. So this one I like it, but it doesn't belong. It doesn't belong on the list.
yeah, probably not. I think it's not an absurd card. I wouldn't be. It has 266 HP. Wow. Um,
But they've left off. Is that what they said? Oh yeah, the tag. Yeah. How about that? But they don't have all the cards that are better than it on the list. I'm pretty certain.
yeah, I don't think so. Except we have Malamar EX. I mean, this card this card's not very good. It's not like a garbage card. I mean, it's a fun card. It's awesome play. I mean, it's not like a bad card. It's fine.
You
A
put your
very good
opponent's
set.
Pokemon to sleep.
Yeah, and then you can like attack with it. It's awesome play. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um,
So it depends on how the coin flips go in the game,
yeah.
probably.
You want to read on from here? Or are you still
So
done?
Mewtwo and Mew, yeah, no, Mewtwo and Mew to tag team obviously belongs on the list for sure. It's better than Luke Metal at least. So I'm not going to read the text unless you really want me to.
Nah,
Um,
it's fine.
I mean, I can't see Mega Gardevoir EX.
No, they got
Another one of the
the
Mega.
wrong Mega Gardevoir. How did they do this again?
Do they?
Yeah, there was a good
Okay.
Mega Gardevoir, and I'm pretty. Wait, no, maybe this one saw a little bit of play. I guess it saw some play, but I think it's pretty much it's the worst of the two. I don't know. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, but this. Okay, I guess this was an okay fairy card, but
Uh,
yeah, I think the
yeah.
other
I
Mega
mean,
Gardevoir was
if you want
better.
to, okay. I mean, if you want a fairy Pokemon, your choices are limited, right? So so Tapu Lele GX that certainly that belongs. We've discussed that
Yeah.
enough, right? I don't think we
Mhm.
need to go over that. So Tropical Beach, does this one belong, right? That was a Worlds promo, so
Yeah.
not accessible to most of the world and
Yeah,
most
arguably,
players.
in my opinion, the most controversial card of all time. Actually, no, that's not true. There have been some pretty controversial ones, but that's like that I can actually like show on screen the most controversial card.
Oh well, yeah, right.
There's some pretty
Um,
nasty ones, but
yeah, we're not going there. So it was a Worlds promo, so and I believe it was right. Yeah, it was illegal. It was legal for play immediately, and I
yeah, this was
believe the
part of
deck that
the
won Worlds
truth.
that year played it, right?
I don't think so. I think it was well the truth, which was the second place deck, which gets talked about more
Oh,
than
the
the first
second
place
place deck,
deck.
and I think right. Oh
Um,
yeah, and he played it in the deck though, right? The Truth deck,
Yeah, and
if I
then
remember right.
everyone
I
was
think
like,
I
"Wait,
heard him
what is
talk
this like
about it.
new card that like just came out like like literally yesterday or today or
Well,
whatever?"
yeah, it was interesting because they're at Worlds, and they in the qualifying day, not everybody has the card, so they said you can't play it today.
Oh yeah, and
But
then
you
they said,
and so wait, so then he went up to the referee, the people running it said, does that mean I can play it tomorrow? And they told him yes. So he was one of the few people that realized you could play it in the deck the next day, I
"Yeah,"
think.
and
So
then
and he
he
had a deck
almost
that
won.
worked with it.
Yeah, no, it was
He almost won, yeah.
it's a
But he called the
classic
deck,
deck.
yeah, and he called it the Truth, and that's just a great name.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic Pokemon decks of all time. I think it might be the most iconic Pokemon deck of all time. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's maybe another discussion.
So you draw to 7 cards, and then your turn ends. And obviously, this was an important card for some of like what the Legacy decks, I think,
Yeah, it's
back in
good in Legacy. It's
PTCGO
good in like
World.
Control. Um,
And of
yeah,
course, this card is basically unobtainable, so that makes it problematic in and of
yeah.
itself.
But it is obtainable. It's not. If I think it would be less problematic if it was actually unobtainable.
Right. Although you and I, nobody, we can't get it in Pokemon TCG
Well, no,
Live
you
though,
can.
ever
You can
now.
redeem a code. You can't play it
Well,
anyway, but
right, you can't trade it,
you can't trade for
but
it, you
yes,
can't
you'd have
buy
to.
it. You can redeem a code, which I guess exists, but certainly
Yeah,
not
if
a
there's
lot.
some right, that's true. If you have an unused code for this, you are in good shape, probably.
Well, I guess, but you can't play it, as we said.
Yeah. So anyway, Mega Charizard YEX.
Yeah, the cards.
What?
I think the card's just called Mega Charizard. Well, so Mega Charizard has two different forms: Mega Charizard Y and Mega Charizard X. But the card's
Okay.
called Mega Charizard EX.
Yeah,
Well,
it
actually, the
doesn't
card might
say
just be
Y
called
on
M
it, does it?
Charizard EX. I've never. Does anyone know how to search Mega Pokemon in Limitless?
Right, because yeah, I'm not. Yeah, yeah. Let us know in the comments because I'm not sure. Is it the M? Is it the Mega?
It might
Is
be
there a
M.
hyphen someplace?
Yeah, I don't know. I searched M Charizard EX and that showed up, but then a bunch of like a few other. Yeah, I guess it's M Charizard EX. Anyway, this card I don't think was very good. Arguably the other one was better. Oh wait, it's the next one. Number 8 is the Mega Charizard X EX.
Oh, the X one.
I
Okay.
don't. The way they wrote this is weird. I mean, it's not an absurd. Certainly, people will have called it this.
Mhm.
But it looks funny. Mega Charizard X EX. Um, this card was
Yeah,
like not that good. I guess it was better than the other one, but still not that good.
I guess it's 5 energy, fire, dark, colorless. So that is, I don't know what was in play at the
Yeah.
time
Well, you
to
could use
actually
it
make
with
that
you could use it with
viable.
Regidrago as well. Um,
Oh,
it's probably
okay.
worse. You
But
build
then you,
5
but then you,
from yourself. Um,
right. But back in the day, though, you had to get that energy into play,
oh yeah, you
right?
weren't doing that.
So,
Let's see. I'm
okay.
trying to see if yeah. Then
All
what do
right.
we
So
have next? Oh yeah,
Seismitoad
Seismitoad.
EX.
This one, yeah, this one I was
See,
talking about earlier. Very good. 30 in item lock.
mhm,
Um, I could see this being
right.
I don't hate that. Very dominant deck. Stuff got banned.
Hmm.
Arguably not even like one of the top cards in the deck that it was in, but still very good.
Right. And Vikavolt V was viable, but this, the 180 HP was more important back then than Vikavolt's HP
Yeah.
and the
Does
30
Seismitoad win
damage.
Worlds? I think it did. Vikavolt
Oh,
kind of
was it?
did as well, but it won the Worlds
Okay.
replacement. But and that doesn't really matter. Next up we got
Right. And you're
Lysander's.
doing
Huh?
trump card. Yep. No. Yep. Your boy Lysander.
Yep.
So
Works with
again,
it.
he's
Got
banned.
banned.
So you know it's good when it's been banned, right?
Yep.
So Shaman EX is next,
Yep.
which of course
Same
is
deck.
very good.
Very good. Oh,
Yep.
number 4 we have.
So
yeah,
a current card, Radiant Greninja. It's an interesting card to put on consider though, because it is the best of the Radiant Pokemon just in general, right? Because its draw engine's very good. Its attack, if you power it up, is very good. It's played a lot. Does it deserve consideration for like top 10 of all time
yeah.
though?
To me, as I said,
Right?
I mentioned with Umbreon Star, if it's a card you can only play one of, I hold it to a higher standard.
Hmm.
And to me,
Yeah.
it doesn't reach that higher standard. I mean, I wouldn't say even if you could play 4 bit. I guess if you could play 4 it'd probably be broken, like top 10 of all time. But
Yeah.
to me, it doesn't meet that higher standard.
Okay. It's not a terrible card to
No, it's
put in
not a crazy.
consideration, I would say.
I think it's a pretty hot take at 4. No, it's not definitely not
Well,
top 10, but I think like having it on top 30 is fair.
right. I mean, if they put it instead of like the Gyarados or the Colossal or something, then the list would be much more sane if they did
Yeah.
that. Mega Ampharos EX. I don't know this one.
Yeah, no, this one I don't
I don't
think
know
it
if
was
you
any
do.
good at all. I don't know anything about it. I assume it was bad. Oh, another Pokemon Mega Mewtwo EX is at number 2. What?
Yeah.
This was no wait. Why didn't they say there are 2 different Mega Mewtwo's as well? I don't know why they didn't do
Oh,
Mega
there's an
Mewtwo.
X and Y again for
I
this
think
or
it's
whatever,
X. I don't know if it's X and Y. No, I can't
or
search the
something
Mega
else.
Mewtwo's because all the Mewtwo's obviously have M in the name. Okay. Oh no, that's the wrong one.
Okay. So, all right. So,
I saw a little bit of play. I guess it wasn't like the
I
worst
don't
card
know.
ever, but you can play
Okay.
Mewtwo
You looking
Mew
it
as
up on
well.
Limitless?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, but it's like not that good. It does more damage. It's kind of like Sableye V or Carbonal V doing more for each damage count on your opponent's Pokemon, which is like decent, but
Yeah. Is it like number 2 of all time? Probably not.
no, it's not number 2 of all time. Right.
And then number 1, a card which you did see coming, I'm pretty sure, unless you knew the article. And this is Professor Oak.
Which is
So
a card, but then the cards they show are two different cards. Like Professor's Research and Professor Oak aren't the same card. There's
Well,
Professor's
the
Research.
text here, right? A few cards from Pokemon's original base set would see play today, even if they were legal. But Professor Oak is one of
That's not
those rare
true.
exceptions.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of the trainers were kind of broken. I think Computer Search, Energy Removal, the Super Energy Removal,
Hmm.
Item Finder. I don't remember the names of all of them. They were all kind of broken, and Professor Oak was one of them.
Yeah,
Discard your hand, draw 7, but it's essentially an item. So yeah,
but
very.
a professor's
Oh wait, oh,
research is
you're
still
reading from the article.
yeah, from the
Oh, I
article.
thought you were
So
saying that. Okay, yeah.
no, I'm reading from the article. So and obviously, look, look, research is a super good card, right? A super good card. I think. Is it a top 10 card? Maybe it is, right?
When
I
was this
mean,
article written? Oh, January.
I
Okay, I was
think it
gonna
was
say.
pretty.
No, yeah, it said
Yeah, this
Sod
year.
and Turo were in the most recent set, which is not exactly true. I mean, it technically is true, but not on research. But yeah, so this was written earlier. Wait, no, wait, January 2024? Oh yeah, no, that's wrong. It's fine.
So look, is it top 10? No, research probably is top 30 though. I think,
Wait,
right? It's
actually,
a
maybe it
very
is. Never mind, I
great
was
card.
wrong. It is right because Paldean Fates has it. They did the research,
Okay.
obviously. Oh, puns. Um, yeah, no, it's very
Yes,
good. Wait, which one? Research or Oak?
research, professor's research.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Professor Oak's obviously better than research.
It is, but obviously, but it's for the whole rules of the game were different, right? You can't. I mean, we're just not considering that as in this list, right?
Yeah.
So I have go on. I have a couple cards though that I think probably should be under
Yeah,
consideration that
give them
weren't.
to me. I think I know. You said Broken Time Space, right?
Broken Time Space, which I have ones that are better than that. So Broken Time
Better
Space
than
is a
Broken Time
stadium.
Space? That card was literally like it's not just a joke that it's like broken. No, it's actually broken.
Well, but your opponent can do it too because it's
Well,
a
yeah, but you can
stadium. So
just
each player
win. You can just play it, and then you can just like play a bunch of
they
like shift trees and
evolve
then just win.
a
Like,
Pokemon that they played during that turn. And so you can evolve immediately, right? And I guess you could go to stage 2, basic to stage 1 to stage 2 in the same turn. Is that correct?
yeah, I'm pretty
Or
sure.
no?
Yeah,
So
I'm pretty
look,
sure.
obviously that's very good. But it's an older card, so it's before expanded, so
Okay,
you
I have a
can't play it in
question. Do you
expanded.
think
Yeah.
so? You said your opponent can also use it. Does that mean you think
Yes.
Forest of Giant Plants is better than Broken Time Space?
What did that one do? Sorry.
Well, it's the same thing, but just grass.
Oh, just grass. Well, that's a good question. Obviously, if
Oh,
you're
and
playing
it's
a grass
banned as
deck,
well.
both this card is broken time space or the other card as well. Giant the plants one is banned.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a tough call, right? Because this could be played in every deck potentially, but obviously, if you have a grass deck, the other card's better. So it's hard to say which is better. It's just a blanket statement, which is what you all want me to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think Broken Time Space is better because it's better. I mean, it's like directly better. But I get where you're coming from.
Right. I mean, look, the fact that you help your opponent too, it weakens the ability, the advantage of it some, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'll say, right? Because like today, like Artisan's a great stadium, but honestly, half the time when I could play Artisan, even a deck that wants it, I'm not playing it because I'm like I'm going to help my opponent probably as much or more than it helps me. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so here's my other cards. I mean, Broken Time Space. I have Computer Search.
Which one? Like the
The,
original
the
or
one
like
that's
the
No,
newer
the
one?
one for you can play an expanded. It
I
was not in
guess.
live expanded, but it's a great card. That's a one of. That's your criteria. That definitely makes the criteria of being good enough that only being one of hurts it. Isn't that a potential top 10 card?
Maybe. I don't know. It's up there,
Okay,
I guess.
you're a hater. I think Boss or Goose was probably a top 10 card. I already said that.
I
You
guess.
don't believe
And that's
me.
a Pokemon Catcher, which is in the category, which is like essentially it's not objectively better, but it's essentially objectively better.
Well, the one that was an item, but that's not legal, right? It depends on the
Well,
rules of what you can
I don't know. It's
of
kind of
what you're
legal.
doing.
I thought we said black and white on in it.
Okay, then that probably goes there. And how about Genesect V?
Yeah, I'd put Genesect V. There are other cards I'd put on there. I might honestly put Path. Path
Right.
is kind of broken.
Mm-hmm.
Zacian
Yep.
V. I'd put Zacian V. Metal Zacian V. Old Metal Zacian.
Right.
There's 2 Metal Zacian Vs. As I said, I think ADP.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
Hmm.
of. I'm trying to like go through potentially Genesect EX, but probably not. I definitely put
Hmm.
like Mewtwo EX, Seismitoad EX, and Shaman EX over it. I could see.
Hmm.
I'm trying to like go through the things. I mean, there's some good engines. There weren't really many engines talked about. Oh, Dedenne GX. Dedenne GX I'd put on there.
Oh yeah, that's our bad. My bad. We should have brought that up sooner.
Yeah, and then Octillery was pretty good. Oh, Garbodor. There were like a couple of good Garbodors. There are 2 Garbodors that
Hmm.
are like kind of the same that kind of get lumped together. And there's also Vileplume. I
Okay.
wouldn't put Vileplume, but I kind of hate that card. It's not fun. And Garbodor. I don't like Lock when like on the bench. I think that's kind of annoying.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah. Is that it for
Oh
we've gone long.
yeah,
Just a
yeah.
little.
There's the one that makes it so the psychic GX attack that you can't play any cards the following turn.
Oh, I mean that's
That's
I wouldn't say. I
I
wouldn't
mean it's
say Gengar
situational,
Mimikyu's
but it's
that good.
okay.
I mean, if you like Trevenor is debatably like an expanded Trevenant
All
Dusknoir
right.
is kind of better. Oh, Battle Compressor versus Seeker. Oh, Puzzle of Time too. Yeah, there are a bunch of
Oh
cards. There are like there are a bunch of
yeah,
banned cards. Those weren't banned. Some of those are banned, but um,
right. But like Battle Compressor maybe, in
yeah,
versus Seeker, obviously a
yeah,
tremendous combo.
and
Yeah.
Puzzle of Time, which is banned, um, and
Okay.
expanded. But I think I don't know. It's a cool card. Anyway, I think that's all for today's video.
Yep.
But yeah, we went a little long, just a little, but we
A
hope you
little
enjoyed.
long.
If you did, consider subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. And as I said, next week, we should have a special guest who knows who it's going to be yet. It's not like I said. Hopefully they're here this time. Hopefully they're not sick. But we hope you enjoyed. And as always,
Yes.
we're excited to see you in the next episode.
Take care.